journalism profession. Her name is Fatimah Asabe Jiyah. Thank you for coming on the show today, ma.
You are welcome. Thank you. Thanks for inviting me here this afternoon.
It's a pleasure to have you, ma.
Thank you.
Yes, ma. So as we normally do, I will need to read out a short citation of before we proceed to the main theme of the program. Okay, here I go. Fatimah Asabe Jiyah, Kwara State born journalist from Party local government area of Kwara State. She attended SIM Primary School Patiji and Patiji Secondary School respectively. Later proceeded to Kwara State College of Arabic and Islamic Legal Studies, KAIS in Ilorin, where she obtained communication authority in Ilorin and a two-term financial secretary, Nigerian Association of Women Journalists, Nawaj Kwara State Chapter. A former special assistant to House of Representative member Honorable Aliyu Bahagu Aman Patiji, and also a special assistant to a former commissioner for local government affairs in Kwara State, Honorable Aisha Aman Patiji, as well as the current special advisor, National Association of Nupe Students, Nanos Kwasu Chapter. Ajia Fatimah Asabe Jiyah is a Nupe radio presenter and the chief executive officer at Abeyi Baza Nupe Online TV. Little from our award categories include Prominent Record Breaker Award, Golden Voice of Kinupe Award, Humanitarian Award, and many more. Dear viewers, I present to you a prominent on-air personality, Ajia Fatimah Asabe Jiyah from Patiji local government area of Kwara State. Thank you for joining us once again, ma. Kindly say hello to our viewers out there.
Thank you, Rukayat, Shittu. Good afternoon, viewers. I've been already introduced. My name is Fatimah Asabe Jiyah, Nupe radio presenter. I'm glad to be here with you this afternoon.
Thank you, ma, once again. Our topic, as we've been discussing, this program is basically designed to discuss on issues related to women's society. And on today's edition, we are discussing on the topic women in journalism and women in journalism challenges and opportunities. So, as a professional journalist, women journalist in Kwara State, and one of the two-term secretary for the National Association of Women Journalists in Award in Kwara State, and the CEO of the Abeyi Baza.
Yeah, TV.
I know you have that exclusive. You're going to give us
exclusive. Well, I've also learned still learning in journalism profession.
Okay, going to our first question, I would love to ask for those that don't have the idea of what journalism entails, just supposed to chip in a little from what you have, ma. What is the meaning of journalism?
Thank you so much for that question. Journalism, to my own understanding, is just like information gathering of information and disseminating it to the masses. You understand, like what we are doing here today, we're trying to talk about a particular topic that we educate people about what journalism is all about. So to the best of my knowledge and my own understanding about journalism it's just like a journalist that go out there to gather information, and at the end of the day you go back to your office, package it, be it print media or broadcast media, you package it. At the end of the day you get it to the masses, you disseminate it to the masses for them to consume for the information.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. That's very, very explanatory, you know. Going back, coming down to our topic, women in journalism. So we need to go with this first question. Who are the women practicing journalism?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm one of them, you are one of them.
Really?
Yes, now, when you talk about women journalists, those that practice this profession, journalism, I am one of them, you are one of them.
And some other people
and some other people like that. These are the kind of people that probably have passed through mass communication class and probably other courses that has to do with communication. At the end of the day, you graduated from school and you become a mass communicator, then you are being employed at a particular media organization, then you become a female journalist in that particular organization, then the journey have just started. Then and there's this particular body we have today in NUG. We call it, we are just like a body, it's a body to NUG, Nigeria Union of Journalists. We call it, it's tagged Nigeria Association of Women Journalists. This is a particular platform where you have women journalists being gathered together to discuss about things that will improve their welfareism, that talks about women in the profession. Like I've said earlier, it's just me and you that are women practicing journalism.
Thank you so much for that. Okay, going that way a little bit, memory lane. So I know something motivated you to this profession, something like tells you like, no, I love this and I want to do this. Not like you were for like, no, go and do this. Or you feel like it's something I would love to do. So going back to that, what motivated you to this profession?
Thank you. It's not something serious that got me attracted to this profession. One, right from day one, it happens a day, there was a day myself, my younger ones and my late dad, we were watching network news, NTA network news, and this woman called Fatimah Hassan. So while she was presenting the news that night, I was like, wow, I like her mode of dressing, I like the way she was presenting, reading the news. I was like, wow, I just dream my dad's attention like that. I want to become a newscaster in future. Then I was in secondary school. But I like what, but is it because of her dressing or presentation? I said no, that I want to be somebody that would appear on TV like this to be presenting news and talk to the people all over the world. And that was it. And when I finished from my secondary school days, the next thing I told my dad, I want to go and study mass communication. I think that is the course I can study to become a newscaster in future. And he was like, okay, no problem. Since that is what you want to go and study, fine. So I got admission to what's it called? Kwara State College of Arabic and Islamic Legal Studies. And I did my mass communication. I was given a diploma certificate, and at the end of the day, I was like, wow, what's next? And my dad was still alive. I said, okay. He asked me, now that you have gotten your certificate, what's the next thing? I told him that you have to look for a TV station where I will work. That I told you I want to become a newscaster, and to God be the glory, my IT, I was posted to Kwara State Television Authority Ilorin for my IT. What's it called? So when I got there, I was like, wow, the officer in charge of the IT students then were like, when we got there, we were welcomed and they started telling us the department they have in Kwara TV, and the officer kept mentioning names. Engineering department, you go engineering department, this one go to marketing department. Like, when it was my turn, they were like, you are going to engineering. I said, no, I don't want engineering department. What do you mean? Do you want to be choosing? I said, no, sir, I have interest on a particular department, and that's why I'm here. I want to go to newsroom. I think that's the department where I can read news, where people can see me on TV. So, okay, see, that is what you want, fine. So I was posted to the newsroom, and not to take much of your time, at the end of the day, they were like, what tribe I am? They don't pay girl, they don't pay lady, and like, what that? Currently, they only have what's it called? Male presenter, who pay newscasters here in Kwara TV. That would I like to be joined? Then that I'm going to be the first female newscaster that they will have on Kwara TV. Fine, that was how it started. I started translating news fine, I wasn't that good in Lumpe translation there, but since I was determined and I have focus that this is what I want to do, this is what I want to become in life. So I started learning, asking questions. When the people that I met there, when they are done with their news casting, I'll go and grab their scripts and I'll start going to something I don't. I'll go and meet them that's what is this, how did they do it? And you know, like before they take me for auditioning and took me for auditioning, and like the first day I was auditioned, I went on here the second day, and it's not anything, it's because right from my secondary school days, I have determined, I've made up my mind, this is what. So all these things didn't come to me as a shock or something that would draw me back, or I won't be able to though the first time on here wasn't a palatable day for me, you know. There's no how. The fact that I was prepared and have it at the back of my mind, I want to do this, no. And to God be the glory today, from a Lumpe caster turned a radio presenter today. So that was the journey started then.
Oh, that's amazing. I really love that. Okay, going back to you know, this profession, there's a gender constraint so about it. What do you have to say about this journalism profession and the gender constraint?
It's a two different questions. Journalism constraint and gender
journalism practice and gender constraint.
Fine. In journalism, we address reporters as gentlemen of the press. So sometimes when you want to go by that, you be like, that means we only have men in the profession, and that's just the terminology we use in journalism. We've been anywhere we go, they address us as gentlemen of the press. But if you look at it, we have a lot of gender constraint in journalism. If as a woman, our female journalists today in our society, like before we came on board to the studio, we were actually discussing about some of the challenges and hazards of journalism, and you were like that recently you traveled to Jiyah, right, that you have to be on bike because of the bad road network, and because of the mobility, the roads are not good, you have to be on bike, and you know you have to, like, it's between you and the trailers. And you were telling me that it was only God that saved you throughout that journey. These are the kind of gender we were talking about. You have to be like, can I do this job as a woman? And when you come in contact with your male colleagues, and you'll be like, she's a woman, I don't think she can do that job. No, this is, and if you look at it, basically, in those days, when I told you that I admired Fatimah on NTA, when I asked my dad then, he told me that this newscasting is for female, it's a job of female, not for male. So when you look at it, basically, it is we women that holds journalism. When you look at it, yes. But sometimes in this profession, when you come in contact, like in office, when you are at work and you are they send out to cover an event, you and your male colleagues will be like, she cannot do it. Or that assignment, you say Fatih should go and do, I don't think she can handle it. Or this is not a woman's job. This is not what a woman can do. That this is, but to me, I always have it at the back of my mind that whatever a man can do, a woman can do even far better. And so sometimes you come across a situation where you be at an event as a reporter, as a female journalist, and you'll be like when you are asked to go and cover a riot or a protest, you'll be like, how can I do this? There are some things that you will come across as a female journalist, within yourself, like, hey, can I do this? And you know, that is where your male colleagues will come in and be like, I told you. So we have this constraint as when it comes to gender balancing.
Okay. Okay, with that, what you said, so relating it back, there are some other challenges in this issue, as we know, more than the gender binary and the gender constraint. What are the other challenges that you think this industry is positing and maybe the society to is positing on women?
Thank you so much, Ms. Rukayat Shittu. We have so many challenges that are facing women journalists today in the profession. One, we talk about discrimination against women journalists. It is something that happens every day to women journalists, like what I've spoken about, the gender balance between our male colleague and female colleague. Discrimination, like sometimes you come, they say you go for an assignment, they say no, female journalists will not be allowed in to cover this event. That is discrimination. To me, I believe that we are all gentlemen of the press, and I am here for a purpose, to cover events, and we should give us the freedom to do our job accordingly without any interference. So discrimination is one of the challenges that we face in this profession as a female journalist, trying to discriminate. And she's a woman, she's a female, and no, you are not supposed to cover this event. When we are out there sourcing for information gathering, I think there should not be any hindrances or any interference stopping us from doing our job. Things that you yourself you come about, I don't think this is needed. I am here to do my job, so allow me to do it. You don't need to disenfranchise me from doing my job. But sometimes it lies on sometimes our appearance, the way we dress. Because someone like me, when I have an assignment and I've been told before the event, okay, it's an Islamic gathering, you are going to cover an Islamic gathering, Islamic event. You do
yourself
for somebody that has a business, that you mean business and you know what you are doing, you have to dress Islamically, that yes, so that when you get there, nobody will stop you, harass you, or trying to look down on you, to trying to send you out of the venue that okay, you cannot be here. Yeah. That's me for you. When I've been told about a particular event or assignment that I'm going to cover, I will make sure that my mode of dressing, my appearance goes with that particular event. So the discriminating against women journalists, sometimes it comes from us.
You mean the appearance?
The appearance, sometimes we determine, okay, why is she going to be allowed to cover this event? And sometimes the society, you find yourself like, sometimes when you go to cover church services, Jumat service, we used to be, guys in the office will be like, okay, it's Jiyah that will go. They will look at your religion aspect. Okay, that see, okay, she's a Christian. Okay, you go and cover the church because you're a Christian. Because sometimes when you go to cover Jumat service, if you didn't cover your hair, you won't be allowed. So sometimes, but if you are really well dressed and you appeared to be that okay, this is what I'm here to do, I don't think there will be any room for discrimination between you and others, especially for that particular assignment you are here to cover. And apart from that, we have what we call sexual harassment. It's one of the challenges we face nowadays in the journalism profession, especially we female journalists. Sometimes, in fact, even before you join the profession, as in, I'm coming to that point, family constraint, because I'm trying to draw my point from that angle. When you just come up and you tell your family that, oh, I want to become a journalist, you'll be like, journalist, it's a profession that is not something that you can be proud of. because sometimes they will just tag it with different names. As a journalist, you know, we have to be mindful of words that we use on here. So that discouragement we set in, like, see that Lagbaja that is doing it, they will go to work and they will come back lately. At the end of the day, you should be the one that will even come in last in the family. So sexual harassment sometimes comes in there. As a reporter, they will be like, if you go to interview somebody in the office and you are a female journalist, you like be around, you know, one shame bed, you just go there. They are not actually carrying that profession as it's supposed to be. So sexual harassment happens with the female journalist. Sometimes you just fall. If you are the kind of person that you have focus and you know what you are doing, there is a way you can stop it. If you are there and it is strictly by business, you can address yourself. But you see, sometimes, like when you come to issues like, you'll be like, you know, before you know it, Anya, you look good, Fatimah, are you married, are you this, are you that? But when your guest, the person you want to interview approach you with that kind of manner, and you let him know that, come, I am here for a business and it is strictly business. Sometimes we have to stop all these kind of things, because sometimes there's no how you can do without it. Yes. Even at your own working environment as colleagues, it happens. But it's not something I want to deeply talk about, because we know that it happens. But it depends on you as a reporter, as a female journalist, how you handle that kind of challenge situation. Then I was talking about family constraint. It's just like what I said earlier. Sometimes in families, you'll be like, I want to become a journalist. The family will be like, no, you cannot become a journalist. That profession that does not have any benefit, that does not have any good credits that you can talk about. And if like if you are not careful, you'll be discouraged from doing it. And when you ask that, why did you want me to go for this profession? Actually, we used to watch news. Yeah, all those Fatimah Abasa, what's it called? Mrs. Mojima Kanjola, they will be on hell till 10. So as a married woman, you want to do this job and you come back lately at night.
I don't know, people even come up with some talk they don't even like, they hear it from someone. As she is, maybe she's not married, maybe she left her husband and they divorced, all this sort of talk. Maybe they will just come up with it. I just want you to chip in that too.
Yes, that is where I'm going, because you know, this profession is all about you and I. And these challenges also happens in other professions. It's not only in journalism alone. But in journalism, it's because we have been seen everywhere. See us on television, and you know, all these things, there's a way we can do it to avert some of these challenges. There's a solution to it. Like if you are being determined and focused and you do your job accordingly, in fact, at the end of the day, all what people will be saying about you, she will tell you that she's going to the office and at the end of the day she will not go to work. Somebody like me, I don't listen to what people say about me. All I believe in is to focus where I'm going and do my job to the best of my knowledge. So all these challenges are things that we come across in the professional, the journalism profession. And the other one that I think I want to talk about is violence and intimidation. Okay. Sometimes, you see, like before we came into the studio, I was telling you that somebody like me, there's this CNN reporter we call Christian Amapo. Well, anytime while she was still reporting, I don't know if she's, because I read about her recently that she had a cervical, she had cancer, probably cervical or breast, I cannot tell. say hate. But when she was reporting, I used to like her. She's one of my role model that then when I was still fine, we were still practicing journalism, but when I was new, we were baby then, I would look at it. She would be at the war front as a reporter, and she will be telling you that as I'm sitting right now, I am sitting on a bomb that is about to detonate in the next few minutes. I was like, hey, what if this thing accidentally detonate? How will she secure herself? How is she going to escape this? And she will be telling you that right now, and the cameraman will show you that yes, she's actually standing on the bomb. So these are one of the violence we face when it comes to reporting as a female journalist. Violence you can be sent out to cover an event, like okay, there's a violence, students are fighting, protests, places like that. We'll be like, hey, gosh, this is not the kind of reportage I hope for in journalism, but there is not how you can do without it. As a journalist, you should be ready to report anything. Like I'm telling you, I've once covered a burial ground, as in did a report on burial grounds. I was sent, there was a report that came to us then that people are digging corpse. Okay, and they want sensitization, the reporter to go. And I went, you understand, I was like, burial ground in this journalism profession. I was like, then I wanted to tell my boss that no, this is a man that will go and do this. He said, so it is now that you know that men are supposed to this guy, you are going to do it. And I summoned courage and I did it. I'm just telling you about violence and intimidation. You see yourself, but you should be ready and prepared when you are going out for that kind of assignment. And you know, you be like, you are not expected to wear something that I wore now. You want to go and cover a protest, you dress like this.
I can remember during the end SARS, I wore a gown I can remember all the
you won't be able to move.
So
but
then
sometimes
I choose trouser.
Sometimes you have to dress like a student too. Your behavior at that particular time, you have to appear like a student, because the moment you are in that kind of venue, that kind of vicinity, you have to be watchful and be careful in your movements in case of any
ready to
sure you understand. So and intimidation, there is no how you get intimidated when you are out as a female journalist to cover events. You see, sometimes some will be like, who is she? Why is it her? All the time, why is it her? You understand? So we have so many things to be discussed about, challenges facing women journalists or female journalists in our society today.
Wow, thank you so much for that. That's very, very exclusive enough, I must say. I forget to greet you in paid language. Ekubegidi. So ekubelaji is nice.
Yes, ekubelaji is good morning.
Ekubelaji, good morning. Ekubelaji, good evening. Why ekubegidi, good afternoon. So
ekubegidi kewono.
Alhamdulillah. So we are going to Dabe Ibaza. I know Dabe Ibaza is Let's Discuss. So as a CEO of these online TV, what even prompted you to, you're working with Kwasi Television, but yet you still feel like, okay, let me go and have my own station, which is Dabe Ibaza, Let's Discuss. What prompted you to this?
Thank you, Ms. Rukayat, Shittu, for that question. I believe that as a civil servant, I looked at it, the salary that I'm taking is something at the end of the day when you receive a lot, you're kind of, you are doing a cooperative in your office, you are doing layer service, you are doing that, you are doing this, and at the end of the day, your take home will not be something to talk about. And I'm sad that, okay, oh, this journalism profession I've joined since 2010. How many years now?
That's almost 11 years to this.
Thank you. And like 2 years back, when I established the Baby as a video program, I looked at it, okay, oh, Fati, come and let's discuss this. What if today or tomorrow my husband called me and say, Fati, you have to go and resign from this job? What will I fall back at? So I just sat myself and discussed it with a few people, few friends, and that this is what I have in mind in doing. And they were like, that's a good idea, that's a nice idea, that, yeah, we're ready to support you. And that was how the idea came up. And I look around, like, I don't want to be doing English presentation, English program, because we have enough people already outside there that are doing that. And basically, my first job at Kwara TV as a Numpe presenter, Numpe newscaster, has moved me to the extent that I say, wow, I'm not going to deviate from this Numpe presentation. And from there, I sat myself and I came up with that name, Tabi Bazaar, meaning come, let's discuss.
Okay, come, let's discuss.
Yes, come, let's, like we are doing now. Like, okay, because I tried to come up with a name that we cut across all sectors of life, that when I invite you to come and appear on my program, you know, be like, but the name of this program does not have anything to do with my profession. So gradually, and that was how I was like, so a question came up from a friend that, where will you be presenting the program? I said, is it TV or radio, or you want to go online? Because we have a lot of mediums now that we disseminate our information, that we get our information across to people. We have online, we have broadcast, we have print. I told him that, okay, I think I would prefer radio to present the program on it. So how do you do that? I said, with my influence in journalism today, I will get that done. And you know, I discussed it with my boss that, okay, you have a friend that has a radio station. I want you to get me an airtime there where I can be. And you know, when I got there, I was well welcomed, and they were like, you are also part of us, fine, come on. And that was how
you shifted from something. You're talking about the reason why you decided to be why you live in English version of it, that you want it to be Nupe specifically. So
yes, that was the reason. I said, okay, I don't want to do an English presentation, because in Nupe kingdoms today, our cultures, Nupe culture and traditions are deviating, are gradually going down. And I looked at it, I tried to Google some things about Nupe culture, and I look at it that sometimes I call for something about Nupe culture. At the end of the day, I'll see the date of like 1970, 1980. I was like, no, this shouldn't happen. That I want to come up with an idea that I will use my own program to contribute and promote the culture of Nupe people. And you know, at the end of the day, the event, the program, then we kick-started it and started inviting guests. And they were like, now why are you doing Nupe program? Why did you want to be presenting in Nupe? Are you not good enough to speak English or to anchor programs in English? I told them that no, there are a lot of people who are already doing that. I want to create a platform why mine is going to be different from others. And to God have it today, you look at it, that Dabe Bazaar program, I shouldn't be the one saying it. It's you that's supposed to be telling me how far we've gone today. You attended our annual public lecture, Dabe Bazaar, and your crew, and you see what happened. Those are one of the aims of coming up with this kind of our radio program. We want a situation where Nupe people will come together, we deliberate, we discuss issues that will bring unity, togetherness, and promote the culture. That when Nupes are mentioned somewhere, we like now you too, you say you have been following our program. So that's how we got started with the babes, and alhamdulillah today with how far we've gone, we are already planning for our next event.
I'm sure we are coming. Just
event is the #1 media organization that we're going to invite.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Okay, going back to I have a question here. These are when we talk about women representation. I want you to talk about that and cite some examples of some women journalists who have been performing excellently, maybe those that are retired, current ones, and others.
Thank you so much for that question. Women and female journalist representation. I think today we have some of them that are well represented. If you look at it, let me start from myself.
Okay.
Like what you read from my citation, that I was one time special assistant to representative member. It is through this profession, journalism profession, that I got that opportunity. I didn't get the opportunity while I was in secondary school. It was when I started practicing journalism. So representation within the female journalists, I can mention names. Now you are also representing, as a female journalist, you are representing us here at Just Event Online. If they are mentioning names today as female journalists who are at a particular media houses organization, you will be mentioned, I will be mentioned. And if you look at it today, you go to for instance, Kwara State, as an example, you will see we have our female journalists who are press secretaries. You go to ministries today, you see some of our female. Fine, we are not well represented, but that is why we have Nigeria Association of Women Journalists now. Those are the things where we usually address. Okay, something we call Congress. We hold congresses all the time, and it's not for anything, it's just to come together and we discuss issues that, yes, we think, okay, you come, what are you facing at your own media organization? Let's hear you. You bring ideas together, then we solve it. And if you look at it, takes for instance, Abike area. She was a staff of Nigeria Television Authority. From there, I learned she was a member, House of Rep member at the National Assembly, and presently the chairman Nigeria in Diaspora Commission. If they are mentioning names of well-do female journalists in Nigeria, her name will be mentioned too. And people the likes of Mrs. Mojimo Kanjola, my own role model. Yes, I address her, the Margaret Thatcher of our time.
Wow.
These are the kind of people that, in fact, in journalism up to now, we look up to them. Like, wow, our child want to attain that particular level she had attained today. And after her retirement, today she's still anchoring at this Edge program. I don't know if you follow that. And there was a time she became somebody that, yes, if people want to have events, they will call her to come and anchor, to come and be the master of the ceremony. So, and the likes of, we have then the former NAWAJ president. She was the immediate past NAWAJ president, Mrs. Ife Omowole, and we have the likes of Aja Balkis Oladimeji. She was a one-time deputy president, and we have our present NAWAJ chairperson, Mrs. Ayobola Olupela. She is currently the MC of the state government functions. She's the one that anchors. So we have a lot of them like that. And even we that were still in the field, there are opportunities that you see our colleagues that are representing us at various agencies. Thank you. So, but we will still work on how our female journalists will be more. Yes, exactly.
Okay, ma. Thank you, ma. So we've talked about some of the hazards and challenges. So how do you think all of these, though you chip in some, or I want you to, maybe you have another thing to add, how it can be averted? You know, we know we can't avert it all, but we can still do to curb this thing in the society, in the profession rather. What are those things that you think we can do, that can be done to curb all these challenges?
Thank you so much for that question. One, how we first talk about is like creating a female-friendly policies that will enact, that are like a law that will be on ground that female journalists are covered to do such a particular program, particular assignment, security aspect. We should be protected. That this place you are going, you are covered. Go there, you don't have any problem. In those days, when we are covering elections activities, as a reporter, your cameraman and the driver, you are going out to cover an election assignment. Sometimes they give us security, and the security officer will be in the car, and it's not for anything. Sometimes you have the right to ask for it. That what this assignment we are going, what if something happen? What will happen? Who will be there to protect us? So security aspect, the government should do something about that. Then they should create a conducive environment for female journalists. I think the present chairperson in the state, Mrs. Olupila, she is doing her best to ensure that all female journalists practice this profession in a free and conducive environment. And you see, another thing that I feel we can do to avert some of these challenges is training and retraining of women journalists. And I know the current chairperson is the state, in collaboration with the NUJ, which is our parent body. They are working in synergy to ensure that they do give us, they embark us on training and retraining of journalists. You see, this kind of training, these are where you come across, they will teach you that, how do you protect yourself as a journalist while you are in the field. Different types of trainings can come up. I think with that also it can avert some of these challenges, because it's in this kind of training you gather more knowledge, you acquire more knowledge about the profession. Then the next point I can talk about that we can do to overcome some of these challenges is building a network.
Network?
Yes, and what I mean by building a network, we operate in a digital society now. Anything you want to do now, you can do it online. You can order food online. You can order for water online.
You can order for a cab.
A cab online. You sit at your own comfort room and you call somebody that I want food, they will bring it to you. In digital journalism now, you can sit in your room and you will call a colleague as Rukayat, that's